all have a thinking intellect, a believing mind, and a feeling heart. With intellect we know, with mind we bind ourselves with things and people, and with heart we feel the rhythm, beauty, and love of the existence. Life of a person is handicapped if any of these factors is ignored or given less importance to. A life can be called complete only when all these three aspects are fulfilled. Only such a life is a blessing to oneself and to others. Whenever any of these three principles became dominant, ignoring the other two, history saw a man-made calamity. Many wars are waged to satisfy the greed of the intellect, to spread a belief of a mind, and many so-called soft states had to undergo severe loss when people gave too much of importance to their heart and ignored the practicality of the situation. Reason devoid of emotion and feeling causes increased insecurity, greed, and restlessness, and then destroys the family life and ignores the social responsibility. This in turn increases the stress levels, resulting in physical and psychological disorders. On the other hand, emotion devoid of reason causes dogmatism, throwing lives into the darkness of ignorance and blind belief, and also causes other social illnesses like religious invasion and even terrorism. Only the proper balance among mind, heart, and intellect keep a person sensitive and sensible. One of the main reasons behind the Indian culture being the only continual culture in the world for thousands of years sustaining severe blows is its comprehensiveness, its penetration into all the aspects of social, domestic, and individual life. Satyam, Shivam, and Sundaram form the three ideals of life here. The ideal of knowing intellect is truth, Satyam. The ideal of the believing mind is God, Shivam, the generating, organizing, and destroying principle of the universe. And the ideal of the feeling heart is Sundaram, beauty, art, love, sacrifice, and all such principles those make us one with the nature. Any of these three ideals do not totally exclude the other two. One who attained Satyam, the ultimate truth, will also be a great devotee of Shivam, and one's heart will be one with the universe, making Loka Kalyana, welfare of the universe, the sole purpose of one's existence. That is why, unlike in the West, here in India, rising of scientific spirit at the cost of faith is not considered as renaissance. Here, science and spirit go together, thereby yielding only constructive results, not harmful to the world as a whole. Hence, Satyam is Shivam, which again is Sundaram. When these three ideals of human life come together to take a form to bless the universe, the resulting auspicious appearance is Lord Dattatreya. Everybody, be a realist, a spiritualist, a devotee, a sage, an ascetic, a household, from a sacrificing yogi to a selfish bhogi, is knowingly or unknowingly led by and led towards this universal principle called Dattatreya. Datta means that which is already bestowed. It is already there. There is nothing that is non-existent. No thing or being is without Datta, and there is nothing beyond Datta. He is the very existence of everything. Atreya means son of Atri, or the concept of Atri. Atri literally means not three, that which is beyond the trio of knower, known, and the act of knowing. Dattatreya is beyond knowledge. He is also beyond the three gunas, the qualities of sattva, brilliance, rajas, activity, and tamas, inertia, with different permutations and combinations of which forms the entire universe. Dattatreya is also beyond space, time, and causation. The three factors everyone and everything here is bound by. Simply speaking, Datta means who only is, and Atreya means who is beyond what is, or who is not, whose glory is sung by Bhagavad Gita as Nasattanna Saduchyate, that can neither be called as it is or as it is not. That is the reason behind many not considering Lord Dattatreya as a mere avatara and incarnation. Every incarnation happened here with a specific purpose, after attaining which it disappeared and afterwards appeared in that specific form only to ardent devotees seeking that particular form. But Dattatreya is not confined to any such definite form. Records of devotees' experiences show that his appearances in the world covered a wide range, starting from an indulgent fool to a great ascetic or seer. Each Purana described his form in a different way. That is why it is reasonable to say that Dattatreya is not just an avatara. Instead, Dattatreya took many avataras. He gave his own self to all human beings for achieving their divine goal. During the turbulent times when man, under the influence of Kali, forgot eternal dharma and fell prey to the six vices, hatred and envy, and headed towards the final destruction, Dattatreya, having mercy on us, descended on the earth as the Adi Guru. But on recognizing the fact that an effort of centuries is required to reform and mend the ways of deteriorated race who have fallen from their duties, dharmas, and divinity for several millennia, Dattatreya, according to a divine plan, started his mission through many avadhutas, saints, and yogis in 1,000 ways. If Dattatreya is a banyan tree, all the great men are its branches and props. Like a firm and strong prop root, resembling almost like the main tree, some seers ameliorate the miseries of devotees, leading them to the ultimate goal. They are worshipped as Dattavataras, or incarnations of Datta. Let us remember the famous 9 of such incarnations, namely Sripada Srivallabha, Sri Nrsimha Saraswati, Sri Manikya Prabhu, Swami Samartha of Akkalkot, Sri Sai Baba of Shirdi, Sri Vasudevananda Saraswati, Sri Gajanan Maharaj, Sri Hazrat Tajuddin Baba, and Siddheshwar Sant, Sri Gulab Baba. The world is filled with Datta. There is no place in the universe which is not pervaded by the great power. Every living being is manifest with the threefold qualities, three gunas, which is its nature. That is why there is every possibility for each living being to get a favorable response through the worship of Lord Datta, who himself is manifestation of the threefold qualities of nature. The Parayana, reading of the stories of these incarnations and contemplation on them, creates a resonance with the vibration of Datta. Lord Datta floods us with the turbulent flow of Guru Shakti, making the various Dattavataras as the channels for propagation of Dharma. Only one essential nature of Datta is emanated through many a Dattavatara. In the endless story of Datta, the various Dattavatara correspond to different chapters. Keeping this in view, if one chants their name constantly, it leads to unbroken meditation and one becomes identical with the object of one's meditation. Then Lord Datta bestows the divine vision of beholding unity in multiplicity, the wisdom of non-duality, and finally the perfection of yoga or yoga siddhi. When the evil deeds, papa karma, diminish and the virtuous deeds begin to bear fruits, then only the devotion towards the ultimate Lord, the Datta, buds in the human heart. We can then consider ourselves fortunate to have had an opportunity to know about Datta and his various avatars. The very name of Dattatreya brings to mind the picture of a slender, saintly figure in our mind with 3 faces, 6 arms, a celestial cow, Kamadhenu, with 4 dogs sitting in front of him. Lord Dattatreya, the Supreme Teacher, was the apparent form of the Supreme Consciousness born to impart self-knowledge or Atmajnana. The 3 faces are of Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, the wisdom primeval to the 3 lords being his body. The 6 arms are the 6 Shastras. The 4 dogs symbolize the 4 Vedas, which ward away all evil forces. Dharma or righteousness is the cow or Kamadhenu. The universal peace is Audumbara. This is the second of the Shodasha avatars of Datta. It was in this form that he appeared to Atri, delighted with his tapas as Atri Varada. The Shandilyopanishad speaks of other forms of Dattatreya, like the one with a single face, Ekamukha, and 4 arms. The Dhyana shlokas refer to him as having 2 arms. The Advaitamala mantra also refers him as having 2 hands. In most other places, Datta is described with 1 face and 2 hands. Saint Vasudevananda Saraswati worshipped Ekamukha Dattatreya with Varada and Abhaya hands, seated in Siddhasana. Whatever may be the external appearances of Dattatreya, if one grasps the hidden essence of his tattva, one can attain unimaginable power that descends onto him. This is the only truth. Dattatreya has been described as Smaranamatra Santushtaha, one who is satisfied with a single remembrance and comes running towards us on that. Hence he is known as Smartrugami. Mantras, tantras and severe penances are not necessary to attain his grace. Just a single remembrance is enough. In Sri Dattastavaraja, Lord Shiva told about Dattatreya to Saint Shuka. Datta Datta idam vakyam tarakam sarvadehinam shraddha yukto jape nityam Datta ityaksharadvayam. Reciting of Datta Datta always with diligence accrues supreme benefits and averts all dangers of human beings. He appears in many forms, like a lad, a loving son, a young man, or an old recluse. He wanders like an avadhuta or a nomad, like a madman at times. He would be like a strict mendicant. His hair matted, at times like householder with hair well oiled and combed. He suddenly appears with a glass of wine in one hand, lost in embrace of a beautiful lady, his eyes exuding desire. At other times, he can be found with a silky attire, with a golden glow all around him. At some other times, he would be drinking toddy, naked, his body smeared with ashes. The purpose behind his avatara is not time-bound. What is his purpose? In Datta Purana, he describes his teaching thus: Vimukhaya Kriya Prokta Acharaya Ishvara Pujanam Mumukshave Kevalam Madhupastistu Tamottama. Karma Yoga is taught for an extrovert, and pure devotion devoid of desires, Bhakti Yoga, is taught for a settled mind. And for a seeker of salvation, the best of best, taking my refuge, is the only way, which is Jnana Yoga. Every living being is in its way to the only aim of existence, that is, one without second. But no two beings are at the same spot. The pinnacle of the mountain is one, but the ways to reach it are many, depending on one's ability and eligibility. The principle, whether manifest or unmanifest, helping one and all to step ahead towards this supreme goal, is called Guru Tattva, the Guru principle. The word Guru literally means one who dispels the darkness of ignorance. As it is said, the purpose of Dattatreya is not time-bound. Until the living beings suffering from mundane life, falling again and again in the circle of births and deaths exist, the Datta Tattva is bound to exist here. This is not just a eulogy. Datta Tattva, the Datta principle, is the Guru Tattva, the influencing principle that leads to and ultimately delivers salvation. It is not strange that of every available path helping disciple to move forward in his spiritual journey, the source we find is Lord Dattatreya. The Datta Tattva, like a banyan tree, has many religions as its branches, each existing like a different tree. All religions, all paths leading to the one supreme goal stemmed out of this one and only principle. In Jnana Marga, path of knowledge, we find teaching of highest order explaining the state of self-realization like Avadhuta Gita, Jivan Mukta Gita, Tripura Rahasya, and many more, coming from the countenance of Lord Dattatreya. Similar is the case with the ways of devotion, selfless action, eightfold Ashtanga Yoga, Hatha Yoga of bodily postures and exercises, etc. Apart from these well-known paths, there are many other paths for spiritual growth that are not so popular and strictly confined to master-disciple tradition like Tantra, etc., adoring their source as Lord Dattatreya. Traditions like Natha, Mahanubhava, Varkari, Samartha, Atita, Ananda, Bhairava, Akhada, and Aghori consider their Moola Purusha, the originating deity, as Lord Dattatreya. There are evidences showing even Sufi tradition having its root as Datta Tattva. This shows that Datta Parampara and everlasting Guru Parampara. The Upanishad says, Datta Bijastham Sarvam Jagat. The entire universe is embedded in Datta as a seed. The great sages of lore say, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. Everything that exists is Brahman. The Bhagavad Gita says, Vasudeva Sarvam, Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Hriddeshe Arjuna Tishtati. God resides in all living beings. Yo Mam Pashyati Sarvatra, Sarvam Cha Mayi Pashyati, Tasyaham Na Pranashyami. One who sees me everywhere and sees all things in me, I don't let him down. Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. Yoga is equanimity. Datta Tattva is an explicit manifestation of the above messages of Indian spiritual lore. I am the self-illuminating light, glowing in all faiths, precepts, and religions of the world. Though I appear differently with different natures depending upon the desires, interest, mental disposition, and the paths my devotees tread upon, I am the eternal, ever-free, and non-dual in nature. Hence there is no specific style of mine. I am the inward light that shines gloriously in all the deities. It is I who receive all the praises and prayers offered to those various deities, and it is also I who shower blessings in return. A seeker can attain me either through the external or internal yoga. Let him be an extrovert or an introvert. It is I who guard him always. It is I who greet him. It is I which was described as truth, wisdom, and eternal in the Vedas. After the illusory spell of Kali is terminated, the embodiment of the essence of all religions and virtues would manifest as divine wisdom. That was the essence of Datta Tattvas, proclaimed by Sripada Sri Vallabha, a Dattavatara. In this way, Dattatreya, with his Guru Tattva, has been blessing disciples of every generation, taking numerous forms as great sages, yogis, and avadhutas. Some of those Guru incarnations are Sripada Sri Vallabha of Pithapuram, Andhra Pradesh, Nrsimha Saraswati of Ganugapur, Karnataka, Manikya Prabhu of Manikyanagar, Karnataka, Swami Samartha of Akkalkot, Maharashtra, Sai Baba of Shirdi, Maharashtra, Gajanan Maharaj of Shegaon, Maharashtra, Vasudevananda Saraswati of Garudeshwar, Gujarat, Hazrat Tajuddin Baba of Nagpur, Maharashtra, Sant Sri Siddheshwar Gulab Baba of Takarkheda, Maharashtra, and now blessing us with his physical presence is Dattavadhuta Sant Shiromani Sri 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 Swami Shivananda Maharaj. Swami Shivananda Maharaj himself is an epic. His life is his message. The way he lives is his teaching. Wherever he is, that is a holy place. His call is an awakening. Sri Swamiji is a strong branch burgeoned from the banyan tree called Datta. The branch issued forth a prop root, penetrated into the earth, deep and strong, and grew like the original tree. He worships Lord Datta, venerates all the diversified manifestations of the Lord. He lives up to their precepts and makes the devotees sing the glory of those great seers. He always reads the life stories of seers and makes the devotees to do so too. In fact, he dedicated his life to the service and spread of the Datta tradition. Turiyatitopanishad says, Yoyam avaduta margastho loke durlabhataraha natu bahulyo yadeko bhavati. It is very rare to see and very difficult to approach one who is in this avadhuta path. He always remains one with the existence. The Upanishad also defines his natural state as beyond reason, calling it Balon Matta Pishachavata. Apparently, he may behave like a child or an illogical person, or sometimes it may appear adversary to begin with. It takes some time for the layman to get the real significance of their deeds. One becomes an avadhuta only when one becomes identical with Datta, that is, Tvamevaham. Whatever one does afterwards issues forth only from Datta. Lord Datta made Swami into a householder to make his life ideal for his devotees to emulate. As a result, he discarded ferocity, ugra pravritti, one of the qualities of an avadhuta, and became amicable to people. Yet he retained other auspicious qualities of an Avadhuta. Swami, by virtue of his inner nature, is a great void, which is constantly filled with the true existing bliss. Spiritual growth of the disciple is the only aim of real Guru. Thus Swami Shivananda Maharaj keenly observed the misconceptions and ignorance prevalent in the name of Datta in today's society and saw that innocent people are misled by some opportunists or by self-posed gurus or even by some beginners in the spiritual path with some peculiar experiences, unknowingly assuming themselves as preachers. Swami says, it is not a good tradition to become a teacher and assume Guru Tattva without explaining about either Lord Datta or Dakshinamurti and without having Guru Parampara, succession of Gurus. Lord Dattatreya is the fundamental essence of Guru Tattva. Guru is not an individual. He is without a form and attributes. Lasting a little of false greatness, people think that they have understood completely about Sai and begin an aggressive campaign of Sai. They finally end up in becoming Sai Gurus. Whereas the truth is, the essence, the Tattva of Datta was completely manifested in the heart of Sai. Thus he has to be worshipped as the complete incarnation of Lord Datta. Only then the path can be termed as true Guru Parampara. To understand the Guru or Datta Tattva, one has to go through Datta Purana. One has to do Parayana of the histories of various incarnations of Datta to know how the fundamental energy of Datta or Guru operates through those various incarnations of Datta. Their names should be constantly remembered and repeated. Books like Sri Guru Charitra, Sripada Srivallabha Charitamritam, the life stories of Swami Samartha, Sri Sai Baba, Sri Gajanan Maharaj, Hazrat Tajuddin Baba, Sri Vasudevananda Saraswati, Sri Sant Siddheshwar Gulab Baba should be read with love, devotion and diligence. One should strongly believe that it is only one essence of Datta that is operating through all these forms. They are not books of history with a chronology of events. If one reads with love, belief, total surrender and with complete absorption, they lead us in a sacred and righteous way. We then become eligible to receive the benediction of Datta. It is easy to obtain the grace of God, but very difficult to get the grace of Guru. But the secret of making it easy lies in the Parayana of Guru Charitra. Swamiji further says, Sri Guru Charitra is not a simple history of Sripada Srivallabha and Sri Narasimha Saraswati, meant to be read only by the devotees of a particular cult. As the essence of all Gurus is the same, if people belonging to any cult or religion do Parayana of Guru Charitra, they receive the grace of their own Guru. It is a universal book of practice of all the devotees of Guru. Hence, to bring the pristine Datta Tattva nearer to laymen, devoid of any confusions and misinterpretations, thereby enabling one and all to get the real benefit of Datta, His Holiness Sri Swami Shivananda Maharaj, out of his uncontrollable urge towards Loka Kalyana, with divine inspiration, found Sripada Vallabha Mahasansthan Trust. Sripada Srivallabha Audumbara Anugrahavan Development Trust and Sripada Srivallabha Annakshetra Trust, and initiated a unique and magnanimous project called Sripada Srivallabha Audumbara Anugraha Vanam. It is the result of the strong will of Swamiji to build an institution to reveal the essential nature of Guru and bestow people with a true path of Guru. It was stirred into activity with the blessings of Gulab Baba. The devotees who came into contact with Swamiji during the week-long sessions of reading and listening of Guru Charitra Shravana Saptaha, participated in the execution of the divine plan of Swamiji. As a result, the grace of Lord Datta endowed all devotees of Guru through Swamiji with a divine abode, Sripada Vallabha Mahasansthanam. What best can we do to make as many devotees as possible to get as much benefit of Datta as possible is the one-point mission and the only motivation behind this wonderful project. And the place chosen to realize this pious project is none other than Sri Kshetra Ganugapur. For any Datta devotee, no place is more auspicious than Ganugapur, as the Datta Purana says, the ever-wandering Dattatreya every day comes to Ganugapur to meditate. Bhagirathyam sadasnanam dhyanam gandharva pattane. After taking a dip in Ganga, Lord Dattatreya every day sits in meditation at Gandharva Pattana, named thus as the denizens of heaven. Gandharvas come here regularly to pay their obeisance towards Lord Dattatreya. That very Gandharva Pattana is today's Ganugapur. Adding to its sacredness, the second incarnation of Lord Datta, Sri Swami Nrasimha Saraswati, in his manifest form, stayed for years at this place and performed innumerable and astounding miracles here, blessing devotees, before finally leaving for Kadalivanam forever with his physical form. But he promised his devotees that he will always be present in the form of his Nirguna Padukas, or sandals representing attributelessness, at the Nirguna Matham, listening to and blessing his devotees. Sri Kshetra Ganugapur is also blessed by the sacred Sangam, the confluence of two rivers, namely Bhima and Amaraja. Here is the very powerful Audumbara Vriksha, the Gular fig tree, stemmed from a dry wooden staff purely by the grace of Sri Nrasimha Saraswati, which has tremendous powers to protect devotees from all kinds of evil forces. A strong belief that also proved true in the cases of many devotees is that every day Datta in some form or other takes bhiksha, gets his alms in this city. This sacred land, sanctified by the touch of the holy feet of Sri Guru, is a heaven of benediction for devotees as well as sadhakas, spiritual aspirants. Sangamam is the place where Sri Guru resided, and he used to walk along the banks of the river Bhima daily to collect alms from the householders of the Ganugapur. In due course, Sri Guru revealed the greatness and sanctity of many tirthas, holy places, which were hidden hitherto. Thus the 8 holy places, Ashta Tirthas, came to light, which are spread from Sangamam to Kalleshwara temple. Even today, many great sages, pious souls, and great yogis, some of them living here for several hundreds of years, take a dip in these Ashtatirthas and collect alms here as ordinary beggars. The place where Sripada Vallabha Mahasansthanam is now situated is none other than the Nrasimha Tirtha or Mahatirtha, which is second in row after Sangamam. These are only some out of many reasons behind Sri Swami Shivananda Maharaj choosing Sri Kshetra Ganugapur for this sacred project called Sripada Sri Vallabha Audumbara Anugraha Vanam. And at Ganugapur too, the place selected for this divine project has even more rare and sacred spiritual characteristics. This place, very near to Sangam, is also known as Pancha Audumbara place. After having 5 auspicious gular fig trees joined together, for every Datta devotee, Audumbara tree is the manifestation of Lord Datta himself. It is said that Sri Guru took rest briefly under the shade of this tree during his daily walks towards Matam at Ganagapur. Also, the Shanti, peaceful vibrations emanated by an Audumbara tree are so powerful that in Krita Yuga, when the rage of Lord Narasimha after demolishing demon Hiranyakashipa could not be controlled by various attempts of gods, only an Audumbara tree could pacify Lord Narasimha and bring him back to normalcy. Under these very Audumbara trees of Pancha Audumbara place, Sri Vasudevananda Saraswati wrote many verses of Guru Charitra. Also, Sant Sri Siddheshwar Gulab Baba used to sit here hours together, would ask the devotees to take a dip in the holy Sangam, but he would not move from the place. He was strongly attracted and attached to that place and used to foretell about a huge structure that would come up at this place in the near future. Shankaragiri Maharaj, a well-known saint of Maharashtra, stayed at this place and fed the people and devotees for months when Ganugapur was hit by a severe drought. The memory of the sumptuous meal provided by him is still fresh in the minds of people of Ganugapur. Such is the divinity of this place. Apart from that, this place is right on the bank of Uttaravahini, the river flowing towards north, which is rare and also considered very auspicious. Pujya Swamiji, with the divine inspiration to bless the humanity with a unique, unparalleled holy place, found this place with so many glories as the perfect for such a Tirtha Kshetra. And Sri Pada Vallabha Mahasansthan Trust members, under the guidance of Sri Swamiji, not only spared no effort to acquire this land, but also within no time started the colossal work of building a 4-storied Bhakta Nivas with 108 rooms. A well-furnished Annakshetra that can allow 800 people at once to comfortably sit. A 9,000 square feet bathing ghat. 9 temples for Navanathas at the river bank. And a spacious Satsanga Mandira for Guru Charitra Parayana, Sadhana, Japa, Dhyana, and also for listening to the inspiring words of Sri Swamiji. The completed constructions till now include a 63 feet Abhayanjaneya statue blessing the devotees going to Sangam and entering ashram, temples at the 5 Audumbara trees, depiction of different incarnations and divine plays, the Leelas of Lord Dattatreya is under progress, a dormitory with separate rooms for ladies and toilet facility for the huge crowds visiting Ganugapur and Anugrahavanam at auspicious occasions is also getting its finishing touches. Sri Swami Shivananda Maharaj, observing the inadequacy of medical services at Ganugapur, decided to establish a multi-speciality hospital to serve the locals and the pilgrims, the construction work of which is progressing rapidly. Also, a Goshala for more than 100 cows is planned to establish besides the Bhakta Nivas. Looking at these constructions, the devotees of Sant Siddheshwar Gulab Baba remembered the prophecy of the saint that a beautiful ashram with a big Annakshetra is going to come up at this very place. Those words of an Avadhuta with divine inspiration are realized by another Avadhuta of Datta Guru tradition, Sri Swami Shivananda Maharaj, with even more grandeur and divinity. On our way to Sangam, a few yards before, First we see the hospital building on the left side. After that, we get the main entrance of the ashram before the Abhayanjanaya statue and Datta Leelas. The road into the ashram from the main gate directly leads to the bathing ghat. Before which, first we find on the right side the office where the publications, CDs, DVDs of ashram and of other Datta Kshetras are also available. From the office, we can enter in Bhakta Nivas with a mandapam in the middle and rooms on all sides. On the path from the main entrance after crossing the office, we get the Annakshetra main entrance. Entering in, we first get the spacious hand wash rooms on both sides, crossing which we enter the main dining hall. Above Annakshetra, in the first floor, is the Satsanga Mandir. Besides this Annakshetra, Satsanga Bhavan building with well-equipped 3-floored dormitory. This dormitory could easily accommodate several hundreds of devotees with all the basic needs provided. There are separate rooms and toilets for ladies and also lockers to keep the belongings of devotees safe. After dormitory, we come to the sacred Pancha Audumbara place with the temples of Sripada Srivallabha and Sri Dattatreya. From here, we can have the picturesque look of the Uttara Vahini Bhima river. Still moving further, we enter in the 9,000 feet bathing ghat. From the ghat, we can see the 9 Navanatha temples, each on the steps with the beautifully carved lions and elephants as gods representing the tamed senses serving the Lord. The wall dividing the Pancha Audumbara place from ghat has 10 beautifully carved grooves on both sides, with the statues of Dashavataras on one side and those of Dasha Mahavidyas on the other. You may think now that at this sacred Ganugapur, at this holy Pancha Audumbara Kshetra, bathing at this glorious Sangam, participating in the bhajans, kirtans and parayana, listening to the divine message of Sri Swamiji, having bhiksha at Anna Kshetra and staying at Bhakta Nivas will be an unforgettable sacred experience for a Datta devotee. But is that all? No, there's a lot more to come. The essential part of the story is yet to begin. The glorious aspects we discussed till now certainly make this place a great one. But these glories do not make this place a unique in the whole world as we proclaimed. The divine characteristic that makes this place onlyest in the whole world is Sripada Vallabha Audumbara Anugrahavanam. What is it that makes a place holy? Tarantyanena iti tirtham. That by which a worldly being could surpass one's mundane suffering and become infinite is tirtha. Our scriptures say that the holiness of a place is threefold: Adhi Bhautika, situational sanctity, Adhi Daivika, divine grace, and Adhyatmika, spiritual vibrations. These three aspects are interrelated. To heighten the spiritual vibrations of this place still further, thereby making this place reverberate with powerful Datta devotion, Sri Swami Shivanandaji Maharaj decided to consecrate 108 crores of Sri Datta Namas. Sri Datta names, each name carrying with it the Datta aura at this place. Om Dram Dattathreyaya Namaha is the Datta mantra with Bijakshara, the sacred seed syllable. The Bija of Datta mantra is Dram. Dakshinamurti Bijancha Rama Bijena Samyutam Dram Ityekaksharam Jneyam Bindunada Kalatmakam Etat Bijam Maya Proktam Brahma Vishnu Shivatmakam Datta Syadi Mantra Syad Atreya Syadimaswaraha Tatrastha Refa Samyuktam Etat Bijam Maya Proktam Brahma Vishnu Shivatmakam. According to Mantra Shastra, the above shloka was revealed to Parvati by Parameshwara. The god Dakshinamurti, like Shiva, is the embodiment of Jnana. Dattatreya took another form and became Dakshinamurti to teach the saints like Sanaka, Sanandana and others. Thus Dattatreya is also Jnana Swarupa. The in the Datta Mantra Bija is given by Saint Vyasa. This Bija gives worldly pleasures. Dram is the Datta Mantra Bija given by Parameshwara. It liberates from the vicious circle of birth and death. Ra, the Agni Bija, which gives wisdom, and the Pasha Bija, arm, which accomplishes even the impossible, combined with the Param Brahma Bija. The became the Bija Dram, which discloses the eminence of Dattatreya as a supreme teacher, the embodiment of Param Brahma. Lakhs of devotees across India, irrespective of any division like caste and religion, creed and race, place and language, wrote each and every name with complete devotion, fixing their mind on the Lord. These sacred books collectively were prayed and circumambulated by the devotees at many Datta Mahakshetras like Pithapuram, Maniknagar, Akkalkot, Shirdi, and also at Sri Kshetra Ganugapur, thus still enhancing their divinity. Adding to this, at all these sacred places, a traditional pious ritual called Adhivasa was performed. Each crore of such 108 crore written sacred names of Datta is going to be consecrated and resembled by an altar called Datta Nama Koti Mahamantra Stupa at this Sripada Sri Vallabha Audumbara Anugraha Vanam. Each of these 108 stupas contains in it Guru Shakti Padamulu, the holy feet of the Guru. In front of each stupa, the holy feet of Lord Datta would be engraved and sanctified, so that the devotees touch them and feel the divine presence. And also one name from Ashtottara Shatanamavali of Lord Datta would be engraved on the stupa. While making a pradakshina, the devotee can touch the holy feet, reciting the engraved name, praying him with all one's earnestness. Then one reaches the sanctum sanctorium of the Lord Datta, situated at the center, and will be showered with his blessings. Each mantra stupa also contains Akhanda Jyotirupasana Deepam, holy lamp. Lighting of a lamp denotes a form and part of fire worship. The dhuni, or the holy fire, adopted by many saints of the modern ages, is nothing but the latest transformation of the ancient homa or sacrificial fire. The sages have been using the cult of dhuni to burn down the sins of their devotees. A lamp would be maintained, one at each stupa, and also a holy fire or dhuni would be kept burning incessantly in the holy garden. An idol of Sripada Sri Vallabha is also installed at each mantra stupa. Sripada Sri Vallabha is the first and complete incarnation of Lord Datta in this Kali Yuga. On the top of each stupa, an idol of Sripada Sri Vallabha, carved in stone, would be laid and sanctified. The chanting of Digambara Digambara Sripada Vallabha Digambara is in vogue since thousands of years of this era to get the grace of Lord Datta. Lord Datta has given a word to the mankind in Krita era itself that he would incarnate as Sripada Sri Vallabha during the Kali Yuga. He kept his promise. As a boon to the Bharata Khanda, especially to Andhra Pradesh, he was born at Pithapuram as the first incarnation of Lord Datta during this Kali era. He has shown many a miracle during his lifetime. Sripada Vallabha Charitamritam, which came to light recently, stands testimony for his supreme divine nature. Sripada Vallabha is an embodiment of the three Lords, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. Pradakshinam around this Supreme Lord endows the mankind with the ultimate virtue of God. If a temple is built or an idol of a deity consecrated, by dedicating the whole virtue of reciting or writing the name of a god for 1,000,000 times, the power of that idol gets enhanced many times. Pradakshina around the idols of Sripada Sri Vallabha, coupled with recitation of various names of Lord Datta, Ashtottara Shatanamavali, and touching the holy feet of Guru, the resultant beneficial outcome cannot be quantified, but it should be experienced. The Supreme Lord Sripada Sri Vallabha showers his benediction upon each individual depending upon his or her desires and longings in many ways. Other glories of this sacred place include Tulasi Brindavanam, 108 holy basil plants. A land is considered sacred and holy if it is adored and worshipped with holy basil plants. Tulasi blesses the devotee with all the earthly pleasures as well as making them blissful and healthy. There is no other plant which would benefit the mankind in many a way than Tulasi. Imagine the benefits of making pradakshinas to 108 basil plants at one go. 108 pedestals of Nagadevatas are also going to be installed here. Many of us may have noticed several snake goddesses on a